Well, I'm really proud of our team for figuring out a way to win. Sometimes you just have to make one more play, one more defensive stop, one more rebound, one more execution on the offensive end. So it wasn't a pretty game. Probably without looking, probably our lowest field goal shooting percentage of the year. I really want to give a lot of credit to UMKC. Watching them on film, we knew this was going to be a battle. I think matchup-wise, we knew this was going to be challenging. They are much better than their record, so we feel like this team could win a lot of games the rest of the year.
Well, I was talking to Coach about your outing last game and then seeing this game, what you had. What do you feel like has kind of evolved for you this season to kind of have the last few games that you're having and emerge as, one of the scoring leaders?
Yeah, I think just finding other ways to impact the game than just shooting, because I think just they're playing hard and trying to get rebounds or find my teammates just helps me mentally just not think about, obviously, just focus on shooting so much. So I think just doing whatever I can to help my team win has really helped me change in that way.
What do you feel like UMKC was kind of doing out there defensively that made it a little tough, for the rest of the cast to kind of shoot as well?
I think it just wasn't our best night, but I think I was proud of how we found other ways and everyone chipping in, like on a stop. ST at the end of the game was huge, and then obviously Abbey also helped with shooting, and Jordana with rebounds, Grace finding the way. So I think everyone just did little things that helped us obviously get the result we wanted, but it just wasn't our best night, and we'll come back from that.
For both players, a lot of three-point attempts kind of dominating the offense early on. What was it from the KC defense that you guys were seeing that was leaving those opportunities available?
Yeah, they went to zone, tried to switch it up on us, and we just did a good job moving the ball and just finding open shots, getting inside-out looks, and me and Chloe had a good shooting night. We had a lot of good assists out of that zone.
Yeah, I think also just our teammates finding everyone and just making unselfish plays leads to that, so we just need to be ready.
Was that something you guys expected coming into the game, part of the game plan being kind of a focus on the three-pointers?
I mean, we're always looking to get the ball inside first. We always get better looks when we get paint touches, but we're always ready for zone and man. We work on everything in our scout.
Yeah, and I think we really just emphasized running in transition and making sure that we got to the corners to space out the floor, and then obviously from there just finding everyone.
For both of you guys, what do you feel like you kind of learned from these type games as you're now heading into SEC play? What kind of lessons do you feel like you can take into the conference play?
Yeah, it's just great experience going into SEC, having those late fourth quarter and overtime wins. Just helps us. I think we do a good job keeping our cool. Just in timeouts, we're always really tight huddles, ready for the next play. Those are really good things to take into the SEC with us.
Yeah, I feel like Abby said, just making sure we stay together because we know this is going to be a different type of level, and now we can just take back everything from non-conference and just see what we can work on, and then obviously limiting turnovers and stuff like that we can control.
Chloe, what's the transition period been like for you these past couple of months? It seems like you're maybe a little more comfortable in the system and the offense now. What's that been like for you across the start of the season?
I think just finding confidence in myself and maintaining that. I was having a conversation with one of our coaches, Coach Todd, yesterday when I was shooting, and he was just telling me, because I was frustrated with my performance from the other game shooting, that I don't have to make every shot. I just need to move on to the next one and try to make the next one. And I think that this game I didn't think about it so much. So credit to him for helping me with that too. But yeah, I think just obviously my coaches will have confidence in me if I have it in myself, and then just playing hard, and it comes from that, I think.
Abby, you talked about the level of in the SEC going up. What changes in your experience when you head into conference play? You kind of go up a notch, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to be locked in every single game. We can't take any night off. We got to be locked in on our scout. There's so many great players in the SEC, and our defense, we're really going to have to up it and just execute our offense to the best of our ability.
Any other questions? All right, we'll let the student athletes go.
Thank you.
Y'all, good job. Really good job. My apologies.
All right, we'll open up questions for Coach.
Coach, I'll ask kind of a similar one to what I did with the players. Was the focus outside the arc something you planned on coming in, or was that adjusting to just what you were seeing out of KC?
Yeah, we had practiced our zone offense in anticipation that we would see it today. We are going to shoot a lot of threes. We know that. I thought we shot a few quick ones I thought we went away from our game plan to getting the ball inside a little bit. And I think we're better shooters. I think we're more efficient offensively when we do have some interior action. But I will say this: we have got to give credit to Kansas City because they did a really good job of crowding that paint, forcing us high, and really keeping our aggressiveness down. Grace didn't get a lot to the basket today. And so that led to quite a few more threes attempted.
Curious in overtime, what did you like that you saw from your group that was able to get them the win here?
Well, I thought they locked in. We got the stops when we needed to get the stops. Whether that was Sanaya doing a good job on the ball, Grace and Jordana on the boards. We executed our side bounds plays late where we had to get the ball in, get fouled. So I think Abbey mentioned it. Our poise was pretty good. They always come back to the huddle pretty confident, pretty dialed in. And I like when we're talking to them over there, when they walk out on the court, they're going to, understand what they need to do.
You mentioned Grace not getting to the basket as much tonight. I mean, she didn't open the game with a 13-0 run like against North Alabama. So how does the game plan change regardless of just shooting more threes?
Well, I think for us, it took us a minute to kind of figure out how we were going to execute our offense against their defense. It was, I thought they did a really good job of shifting to match up with us, and not just shifting to match up, but they shifted, matched up, and then they guarded really well. And they've got some athleticism on the perimeter with some pretty good length that just pressured us high. And I don't think our players were able to see the interior pass. I don't think they were able to see the interior drives as well as we need to. So we'll look at it. I think there are some schematic things we can do maybe to help them a little bit next time. But, ultimately we were able to make enough, honestly, probably make enough threes to get the win.
Is there a balance you kind of strike with being really happy that you guys have found a way to win in these close games and also being like, I want to put these games away in the fourth and third quarter when you have a chance?
Yeah, there is, and I think ultimately we have to recognize where we're at, and at the end of the day, a month from now, you're not gonna remember how this game went. You're not gonna know whether or not we won by 2, 5, 10, 15. You're gonna know if we won, and so ultimately that's the biggest thing. You got to figure it out. And yes, my health would be so much better if these were easy games and we would win by 20. It would be awesome. But I also understand we're a little short-handed, and sometimes that's a large task. And so for us to get the win, proud of it.
Kind of along that line, you've been without Shannon for a couple of games now. How does that change your game plan offensively when you know you're going to be missing such an important piece?
Well, I think when Shannon was such a big piece for us offensively, because she had the ball in her hands a lot. So we've really had to be strategic about what we're doing on the offensive end in particular, to be able to create some more paint touches, to be able to give ourselves some good spacing and some ball handling ability. So, that's on the coaching staff. I think we've done a pretty good job of, finding what this group needs to be running without Shannon out there.
It seemed like late in the game, those paint touches you're talking about led to a few more opportunities than they were early in the game. Was that something different you saw out of your offense, out of Casey's defense? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought our offense, we took some quick shots there, several possessions. Can't remember if it was in the third, probably in the third, because we shot like 17% in the third quarter. We took some really quick, ill-advised shots, I thought, in the third quarter. When we settled down a little bit more, moved the ball a little bit more, attacked the basket a little bit more, it actually gapped them out a little bit more, and we were able to find those opportunities easier. So, I think for us, we just need to stay aggressive.
Obviously, you have experience in the SEC. What changes when you get into conference play and things go up and down?
Yeah, one thing that we will do, we'll keep our prep the same. We want to, we've tried to do that no matter our opponent. That way our players are very, very familiar. They're very comfortable with how we're going to proceed moving forward. There are no nights off, as you know, in the SEC. I mean, it is brutal every single night. And I think for us, just, we want to go out and be our best. We got to, we'll get creative with some game plans, give our players a game plan that they will believe in it, and they'll understand how to execute it. And then we'll go out and try to put ourselves in position to be competitive every night, regardless. And, I think one of the things in this league, you can get carried away with wins and losses and not understand, kind of what's next. So whether we win or whether we lose, you got to get back up or stay up for your next game. That's going to be vital for this team. And I feel good about it. I think they will. I really do. I think they'll be able to handle a next game up, whatever the result. And, our staff will be ready to put some game plans together.
As you finish up non-conference play, looking back, how would you evaluate the performance these first 15 games?
I think if I get really picky, sometimes evaluating performance is, I may not grade us so high, but the end result, we're going to grade out pretty well. I think for what we've been, just kind of the cards we've been dealt in terms of some injuries and how we've played, I think, and where we started, from back in early November. I think we've made a lot of progress, and for us to be sitting here again with 12 wins, I think it's a big deal.
When you talk about playing shorthanded, the injuries you guys have been dealt, I mean, how do you attack SEC play kind of down some numbers there?
Yeah, I think we have to be very strategic with how we're practicing, how we are recovering. There is a fine line. We have got to get better, but we also have to be fresh and have legs under us. So I think that's on our staff. I think we've got a lot of data coming in. We look at the numbers from each practice, numbers from the games. We gauge the eye test is important, and then I think that's where the experience that my staff has coaching at this level, that's really where we have to make some decisions sometimes that are in the best interest of the game, maybe not in that practice.
Along the injury idea, is there any timeline on Shannon's return?
No, we are really day-to-day with her, and I know our athletic training staff is doing a really good job of taking care of her, and she's been a very good patient because she wants to get back out on the court.
All right. Any more questions? We'll leave it at that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.